What is up, UFC fans? My name is Brady from Be All In Sports. We have a card going on here in a couple hours that's going to be starting up at the UFC Apex, UFC Vegas 100. Going to feature Neil Magny versus Carlos Prates. If you are going to tune in, come with the betting side of it. We got some bets on our previous breakdowns that we did for you. This time, like I said, I'm not too heavy on the bets for this one, so I just went ahead and jumped right into UFC 309 that is going to be coming up next weekend. Man, I'm so excited for this one. This is going to be a monster card. It goes down November 16th from Madison Square Garden in New York City. We got some banger matchups here. I'm going to give you my breakdown, an early breakdown right now of the preliminary cards, and then I'm going to follow that video up with another breakdown that's going to have the main card bouts on it. So I'm going to jump right in because I don't want to waste any more time. Want to get going on this. The first matchup that we're going to be starting off with is going to be Veronica Hardy versus Eduarda Mora. Veronica Hardy 9-4-1 versus Eduarda Mora 10-1. Right now, Veronica Hardy is sitting as the slight favorite of -155, I believe, is where she was sitting. They've got Mora over there at a +130. I got to be honest with you. I am going with the underdog in this one. I like what I see from Eduarda Mora. I think when she's putting the pressure on, I know Hardy, she likes that sideward, side-to-side movement. She's got almost like that Muay Thai background. I do think that she's going to have a lot of volume, but I think as far as the power and the damage, if Eduarda Mora can land on her, I think she's going to end up hurting her a little bit more. And I also think that once that fight goes to the ground, one thing that I did notice about Hardy, all that movement in the beginning rounds, she may win the first round, but I can see this going to the ground in the second where Mora, to me, is going to be able to control her. That's the main size difference. The size difference, I think, is going to be a pretty big factor here. Eduarda Mora was fighting down at the 115 limit, but she was having some trouble making weight, so they're going to move her up to this 125 where Hardy's been fighting. But overall, I'm going to take Eduarda Mora in the first matchup here to get things going. I'm going to take that underdog pick to start things off. The second pick we got here, I like this fight. This is Oban Elliott versus Basil Hafez. I like Oban Elliott. I think I like his style. He's tough. He's gritty. I can see him putting on the volume in this matchup. He kind of does have that pressure. He stays more composed, and the wrestling takedowns for him are phenomenal. He's very, very difficult to take down. Basil Hafez, on the other hand, he's a good fighter, but he gets a little wild at times, and I think it leads to mistakes where, in my eyes, Oban Elliott just stays a little bit more composed. He's fought the higher level competition. I know that Basil Hafez did fight Jack Della Maddalena, but again, we didn't know what to expect when he came in, and he shot for an immediate takedown. I think it kind of caught Jack Della Maddalena off guard there, and I think he had an advantage. But now that we've seen kind of what kind of a fighter he is, I think that Oban Elliott is going to be able to get this fight where he needs it, to the ground, if he wants it at some point. Hafez does have skills on the ground, but I see that Elliott is just going to be able to get a little bit more control time. I think he's going to be the more active fighter, and he is very good at avoiding punches. He doesn't take a lot of damage in his fights usually. The one thing that I am kind of concerned about may be the leg kicks, but I think that he'll end up finding a way around that one. So overall, second pick of the night is going to be Oban Elliott, which he is sitting at the slight favorite right now. So this may get better as far as odds go. So this might be a fight that you can hold off on, wait a little bit longer until the odds start changing, because I do think they're going to shift in Hafez's direction. So maybe you can grab Elliott even closer to that plus odds, because right now he is sitting at the favorite. But we'll see how that fight plays out and how it goes in the next week. The next fight, Mickey Gall versus Ramiz Brahimaj. I'm not a big fan of Mickey Gall, and I really don't understand the line on this one. They've got him. It's near even, but they've got him at a minus 115. The only thing that I can, I don't understand it. I think that Mickey Gall has been there longer. He's more active, but again, 3 straight losses. He did lose to Hafez his last match out. He's lost to Mike Mallet. He's lost to Alex Morono. Most of these do go to decision, but when I look over at the competition that Brahimaj has faced, he did take a loss to Max Griffin by KO. No shame there. Very tough fighter. Got to win a submission win over Sasha Palatnikov. He did take a loss from Court McGee, which again, Court McGee's very tough. And I think he almost got his ear ripped off in that fight. So, and he was going to keep fighting. So they ended up stopping it due to doctor stoppage. So no harm, no foul there. He got a submission win over Michael Gilmore, and his last match out, Thimba Garimbo, that one's aging pretty nicely right now. So in this fight, I see all the advantages for Ramiz. I think he's going to end up having a very easy time getting it to the ground. And once he gets it to the ground, I think he's going to control it. I don't think Gall is going to be much of a threat as far as the submissions, which that's kind of the one way I would see him winning this match. And I don't see it happening. So in this matchup, I would say get it while you can on this one. I might even put a small bet on this one right now because I do think it's going to shift next week. But I'm going to take Ramiz Brahimaj in the matchup against Mickey Gall. All right, here we go with the next fight. We have Marcin Tybura facing Jonathan Deniz. Deniz was supposed to fight Derek Lewis this past weekend. Obviously, Lewis ended up pulling out, so they're matching Deniz up with Tybura. Quite honestly, I think this is a better matchup for Deniz than it was when he was going to face the Black Beast. In this particular one, I think it spells trouble for Tybura. Tybura doesn't have a great gas tank. He can get you to the ground, but I don't think he's going to be able to keep it to the ground. He hasn't shown that ability. Deniz is a very, very solid kickboxer. He has that kickboxing background, and I see him putting on a lot of pressure in this matchup, and I think he's going to end up finishing Tybura. I'm going to say possibly even the first round. I think he's going to end up hitting him with some body shots. I think he's going to just outstrike him. I don't think he's the one chance that Tybura probably has is to get it to the ground. And honestly, I just don't see it. I don't see him being able to get him to the ground and control him on the ground. In this matchup, you've got a young, hungry Deniz coming in. 33 years old compared to 39 years old. I guess he's not that young, but in that heavyweight division, that's still young. Tybura's got a lot of mileage on the tires, and ultimately, I think Deniz is going to get this one done by knockout. All right, we've got Jim Miller versus Damon Jackson. Big fan of Jim Miller. He's a great fighter, but the last matchup that he had against Bobby King Green, or King Green now, man, he took a lot of damage in that fight. And I am pretty sure, I'm not, obviously I haven't heard word from any of the sites or anything like this on this, but Jim Miller's getting close to the end here. And I think that he was wanting to end it on a big card. He's been in there. I know he wanted to end it on the UFC 300 card. But we'll see how this goes. But I know that a fighter like Miller, he's getting towards the end of his run, and Jackson, he's stepped up to a different weight class here recently, I do believe. He is stepping up to that lightweight. So again, I think this is going to be one that I know he was probably super pissed about the outcome of the last one where he lost the decision to Chepe Mariscal. But this one, I do think that he is going to bounce back. I think there's a possible submission victory going on here because Damon Jackson is completely and always dangerous on the ground. But ultimately, I think this is going to go to decision. And I think it's going to be Jackson who is going to end up pulling it out. I could honestly see a late finish, but I think that Miller is just too tough. I think it's going to be one of those that just goes back and forth, slugging it out, ground battles, grappling battles. I think it'll go everywhere this fight needs to go. But in the end, I think Damon Jackson's just going to have him I think he's going to be a little bit too much for him in this matchup. And this could be the last time that we see Jim Miller, but who knows? The guy's stuck with it a long time, and he may end up sticking it out longer. But in this matchup, I'm gonna go with Jackson. All right, we've got New York's own Chris Weidman taking on Eric Anders. Let's see. I have not been impressed with Chris Weidman. I'm just gonna flat out say that. Ever since the injury that he took, that's it was a big injury to withstand. And to me, he's never been the same. The fights that he has had, yes, he's gone the distance in these fights, but honestly, I have not been impressed with any of them. I almost feel like people are almost taking it easy on him. He lost the decision to Tavares, then he lost. Obviously, he lost before that with Uriah Hall, and then this last one, he did win against Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva looks like shit these days. It's almost like the air has gone from him. He just doesn't seem like he wants it anymore. So that matchup, I did have Silva in that matchup too, but Weidman ended up getting the win. But I don't see it going that way with this one. I think Andrews is going to put the pressure on. I don't think Weidman's going to be able to really get the takedowns and control the match. And I think Andrews is going to end up beating him up, possibly for the 5th round. But I really do think Anders gets a finish in this one, a late finish. So I'm going to go Eric Anders. He is the favorite in this one so far. So, this may be the last time that we see Chris Weidman as well. All right. And we are coming to one of my favorite matchups on this entire card. This one, I had a lot of back and forth going on this one, but ultimately, I have come down to the pick. I am going with Jonathan Martinez in this one. For the simple reasons that I think that leg kick is a crucial thing with him, and it does a lot of damage. It'll slow anybody down. Marcus McGee is a really solid, outstanding fighter. But I just think that Jonathan Martinez is going to kind of hobble him with that leg kick. And then I think from there, he's just going to kind of pound away at him. I think that he's a little bit better all around. He's a little bit tougher in my eyes. This is going to, I feel like this is going to decision, but I just think the level of competition that Martinez has fought while he's been in the UFC has been at a higher level. He's gotten some wins that I didn't expect him to get there. This fight is one of those that can go either way. And if I was betting on this fight, I would probably say, an over 2.5 in this one, possibly even drop it down to just goes to the 2nd round, because I do think that this fight is going to go long. I like decision bets with this one as well, but anything judging from one pick to the other, I could take I would probably, if I had to, take Jonathan Martinez in this one, but this is ultimately a fight that I might just want to sit back and enjoy the madness, because I think it's going to be an amazing fight. But that is my preliminary card breakdown for the UFC 309. I'm excited about this card. I'm way more excited about this card than I am, obviously, the card that's going on today. So going to start getting these bets in. I'm going to do the breakdown for the main card directly after this. So we will be putting these on fairly quick, right back to back. And hope you enjoy. Hope these help you out from a start-off point. Again, I'm going to do more tape study on these. But I wanted to get these picks out early because I had some time. So there it is. That's my preliminary picks for UFC 309. Hit the like and subscribe. Let me know about what you think about these picks. Hopefully we can get some bets out there that are going to pay off for all of us. Enjoy the fights today. Watch for the next video coming up on the main card. Until then, this is Brady from Be All In, and I wish you a happy Saturday. Peace.